Hello, this is Wes Bridle, and this is another Kingdom Calling economic update video, and I'm excited to say this is my last one. Just take a lot out of me sitting here doing all these back to back, but we're going to talk about what's going on in the world and how that affects the US. All of these videos are short-term updates about what's going on recently to follow the long-term big picture perspective that we put out in the Coming Storm video. So if you haven't seen that, please go and watch that. There's a link to do so for free right next to this video. Let me jump into it. China had a recent audit that reveals $1.7 trillion of government, local government debt, and they felt like probably there's a lot more repayment risk in there than has previously been noticed. So one of the issues that we have with that, China is considered this big engine of the world economy because they have been growing, they have been consuming, but the problem is they've been doing a lot of fake stuff too, where they're building buildings that no one needs. They're doing a lot of stuff, and here you have a lot of local debt that's not going to really be repaid. Well, if China has to take money that they were sending to the rest of the world and use it to repay their own internal stuff, that money doesn't get sent to the US, for instance. Well, that causes pain in the US. So China's having issues. China's position is much better than the US's is today, long term. I kind of think of China as being where the US was in 1929, maybe 28 or 30, I don't know. But the point being, they've had a wonderful run. They have a bright long-term future because they work hard. They don't have the excess government debt. Even this 1.7 trillion is less than the 3 trillion, and it's probably not all bad debt. But even if it were, it's a lot less than the 3 trillion of cash that they have. So in the long run, they're in a good position. In the short run, they've done a lot of stupid things, just like the United States and Europe have, and that has to be washed out of the system. China's increasing minimum wages 13% over the next 5 years. Again, this is more inflation. Because the Federal Reserve in the U.S. is printing so much money, it's causing the cost of basic goods, commodities, things that, food, to go up, and so people are needing more money. So now the government's responding by saying, okay, we'll raise prices. Well, that means prices of things here are going to rise, and the inflation's finally coming for full circle, where a lot of the prices of food have been going up here, but because in the United States we don't spend that big a percentage of our money on food, it hasn't hurt us that bad. But you can see it's creeping into the system, and it's going to be inescapable here, not too much further down the road. Flood of $10 trillion over the last 3 years was still not enough to float the world economy. So I just saw that number and it just stood out to me, and I wrote it down. $10 trillion they've created out of thin air over the last few years, and it's still not enough to fix the system. The reality is more debt is not going to fix the debt problem, but they continue to try. The BIS, Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of central bankers, is warning that higher interest rates are coming. Another problem in China, some stock fraud scandals have come out recently, and it's causing borrowing costs there to go up. So again, you see more causes of both inflation and difficult economic situation there. And they have had some failed treasury auctions recently. China, the PMI number that recently came out shows the economic growth really slowing dramatically. So, China's supposed to be the engine of the world, and they're not very healthy right now. So they're not going to save the world. We're going to have to deal with our own problems, and our problems are too big to really be dealt with in any way. We've been kicking the can down the road for decades now. So it's going to have to be prepared for it. There are ways to be prepared. I hope you are ready. Again, if you haven't seen the Coming Storm video, I really recommend it. God bless you. Thanks for watching this. I appreciate it.